gain as we head toward Madden or let's see, advanced week. Okay. I see the franchise logo has somewhat changed since then. Start game prep. What does this mean? 60 hours left this week. Earn player XP. Free practice. Team progression. Running your team through free practice, get them ready for the next game. Let's do offense only because I don't know. I haven't done a franchise in Madden 16 yet. I'm trying to share the link too. So, man, it's not popping up in my phone. So, obviously not like Madden 17 or 18. I don't think I'll do this. Didn't I put myself in? Let's go. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, how do I quit? Good to know. Good to know. I hear you. This is okay. Try some jukes. This is so much fun. Definitely Madden 18, 17 are better for the practice. Can I get out of this? There we go. Quit game. Yeah, I'm just looking at the in between game prep for this is Madden 16. I'm using I Teach History 78's 1986 roster. I'm doing a season, the one I've been doing the practice games with. I'm actually doing a season now with the Bills. The game prep seems just ridiculous. I'm glad they switched to practices that mean something. And I can't edit my opponent's uniform, so wait a minute, can I? Nope. I can't even go over there. So unlike Madden 17 or 18 where you can put your opponent in throwbacks, I gotta go through these seasons with the 86 rosters and then the 99. I haven't checked out the 95 yet, see if that's a real roster or not. With my opponents in modern day uniforms. Now in the exhibition games I did, you could change your opponent's uniforms by just pushing over. It is amazing that there are some updates per year like that, having control over your opponent's uniforms to make the games look throwback like. Ugh. I don't know why this is happening. trying to share the game link. It keeps giving me that I'm trying to share my last game. This is... Now my phone is acting up too. A little loud. No, I don't know what's going on. I can't seem to get my phone to share correctly, so I'm going to restart it. Oh, okay. Jerry Butler and Andre Reed, the receivers. You got Greg Bell's running back, Pete Mesflar as the tight end. Yes, the Patriots are 1986 throwback rosters, but I can't, in case you missed the beginning, I can't switch. In Madden 16, I can't switch their uniforms, so it kind of sucks. Chris Burkett on the reception. Raymond Claiborne on the tackle. So you're seeing the 86 Patriots in their 2015 uniforms. My phone never reset. Now it's turning on. Greg Bell on the carry. Anyway, if you missed week 1 against the Colts, I scrapped doing the practice games on exhibition, even though obviously they look more realistic as far as being able to put both teams in the uniforms are. One of the reasons why I don't enjoy losing, so. And I'm only really playing on All-Pro anymore now in the playoffs. So I'll get my practice there as I get my butt kicked on a weekly basis. At least I'd rather lose to humans than on the Raymond Claiborne on the corner blitz. I'd rather lose to humans than to constantly lose to the computer. Or if I'm going to lose the computer, do it in franchise mode, playing through these rosters. Go ahead. No, it's just when I discovered this. I'm not my favorite year for the Bills is '91. They don't have a full roster set yet, but I did create me and John M. did a season where I was the 91 Bills and he was the 86 Giants, and we went through a whole season and met in the Super Bowl. You can find that whole playlist on my page. When I discovered this I Teach History 78 roster sets, I discovered that he had rosters for Madden 16, Madden 17, Madden 18. Now, I have all 3 games. I just had never played Madden 16. I got it. My wife got me the PlayStation for my birthday a couple years back. Madden 16 came with it. I played the WWE game more than I played the Madden game that year because it was April, when my birthday is. And I wanted to wait for the new Madden to come out. Madden 17 came out, that's when I jumped back in after a 10-year hiatus from playing Madden. And there's enough differences between 16 and 17 that going back to play Madden 16 is a completely different game. So anyway, I discovered the roster sets, and I went and I downloaded them all. For Madden 16, there's 1986 and 1999. And I started doing the resim history thing, which was cool, watching computer play computer, but it wasn't, people weren't voting. And then so I did the change history, where I attempted to change history and I wasn't winning. So what's the fun of continuing? I mean, I want to get viewers, right? And especially people that aren't as familiar with maybe 1986. They're not going to vote, especially younger guys, aren't going to vote to see if the Eagles can beat the Bears, or the Bears still beat the Eagles from 1986. So I figured, why have the voting, at least now? Maybe as the page grows, it would be something worth looking into again. But what I want to do now is I want to play the one season through with these rosters and see if I can have fun. Now, I'm a little disappointed that I can't change the uniforms for the opponents, but it is what it is. Larry McGrew on the tackle. On the reverse by Andre Reed, it didn't pan out. But we do have a major announcement coming as far as 1960 goes, coming in the coming days. And there will be a couple things. 1960, the one I can announce is when it's ready for the Super Bowl, we will have a playoff set, and you will be allowed to pick any of the 21 teams that were in the NFL or AFL in 1960, meaning we're going to have somebody in the NFC South, though. So what is the NFC South? Oh boy, none of those teams are in the NFC. Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers. None were in the NFL at the time. Well, there's more to the 1960 than just the one season, so you'll have to stay tuned for the announcement. How many other divisions are teamless? See, NFC West, Cardinals and 49ers. NFC East, the whole team is there. NFC North, the whole division's there. So just the NFC South. AFC East, Bills, Patriots, Jets were around. AFC North, Steelers and Browns are in the NFL. Bengals weren't around yet, and Ravens weren't around. So you'll be able to pick either the two teams that are currently in the NFL. AFC South, there's the Colts and the Titans, who are known as the Oilers. And the whole AFC West is there. So we will have, I guess, an 11-team playoff, because you can't... So I suppose somebody could sign up for the NFC South, but it'd be modern rosters and very low-rated teams. Okay, Vertex 2K, when I'm done the game, I'll check it out. Thanks for watching. Click on his name. That's his YouTube page. Yep. And who's running? Craig James. Craig James, the running back. See, it's hard. I see these numbers in modern Patriot uniforms, and I'm thinking, you know, you see 32, and you don't think Craig James. You're trying to rack your brain. Okay, who's worn that color since they went to those uniforms in 01? But that's not. It's like 11. To me, that looks kind of like Drew Bledsoe, but no, it's Tony Eason. He throws like Tony Eason. Doesn't throw like Drew Bledsoe. Evidently they went for the give up on 3rd and long. Well, that's the end of one. I will give this hint away about 1960. Why 1960? It's because it's the start of the AFL. And I'm a big AFL fan, and of course, obviously, you know, a big Buffalo Bills fan. Did he get the first down? Yep. Oh. Well, yeah, I'm tend to root for the AFC more often than not, unless a team like the Falcons or the Packers are in the Super Bowl, and it really depends on who the Packers are playing. I would root for the Packers against anybody but the Bills, probably, pretty much. Oh. Miraculously, I didn't touch anybody. That's another thing I'm glad they dropped. To Madden 17, when you jump off sides, in this game it jumps to a, player lock camera angle. And if you're not familiar with playing the defensive end or whatever, that camera is really strange. Tony Eason is 3 for 3. So after, wait a minute, how is he 3 for 3 when the first pass hit the ground? Irving Fryer on the reception. Unless that was the play the holding penalty was called on, that might be it. Tony Collins on the rush. Stanley Morgan in 86. Huh. What number is he? 86, right? I don't know. They kind of skipped through the player introductions because the quarter ended at the same time they're airing them. Get the first down on that. He does. He's really good at. He's really. He's going to be a part of the 1960 thing, obviously. If you saw the last video I just did, the sim, John M. and myself and Wildchild80, who is not a YouTuber. We're going to finish up that original 1960 season with the conference championships. It's the Steelers and Bills and the Giants and Packers. Probably this week coming up. I just got a message. ESPN just posted a new video. I'll have to check that out later. Oh, okay. Let's see. I teach history 78. That's with 2 H's. I teach history. So there's an H in teach and an H in history. 78. And yes, he has done for Madden 16. He has done 86 and 99. For Madden 17, he has done 89, 75, 89, and 93. There is also a 2005 set up for that one. And for Madden 18, he's done 87. Then there's the custom conglomerations, or whatever you want to call them, the collage rosters, where there's guys from that Phantom Fighter is doing with the super teams from 84 to 2000. Pulling on the defense when the quarterback fell down. We're working on the 1960 roster for Matt. You know what? The way I had to create Marv Levy, he kind of looks like an X-Men. But not the good guys. One of the mutant bad guys. Super team. Yeah, well, what is, like the one that the Mr. Albino from Facebook is doing, where he's got teams from the 60s through the 90s. You know, he's picked one year from each franchise. And, then the one that Phantom Fighter's doing, where it's specifically between 1984 and 2000. I'm sure there's some sets like that on Madden 17 and 16. Man, I was looking through the roster sets on 16 the other night when I was getting ready to start this. There's Stanley Morgan. Caught the touchdown pass. And I saw one that was rated marked 1975. So I downloaded that one. I haven't looked at it yet to see if it is really 1995. Did I say? Yeah, 95. If it is, that'd be kind of cool, because that Bills team still had guys like Kelly and Thomas and Reed. Lofton was gone by then. Smith was still there, but they also had Bryce Pop. And they had runners like Derek Holmes. Bill Brooks, was he still there in 95? He might have been gone. Steve Tasker was getting more playing time in 95. So if that is a 95 set, but there was no description, it just had the year 95, and it's on this. So I'm going to take a look at that, and if that is indeed a full 95, then I'll do what I plan on doing with these with that too. There's somebody's working on a 2004 set, which would be kind of cool, because, you know, Michael Vick had one of his best years with the Falcons that year. The Bills weren't that good, but the Bills haven't been that good in a generation. They still got a shot at this year's playoffs. They got to pretty much win out. They got the Colts tomorrow, then the Dolphins, the Patriots again in New England, so that one will be tough, and then the Dolphins. I see them easily being able to win 3 out of the 4. I see them also being able to lose all 4. It really depends on what Bills team shows up. Anybody can win the AFC West. I think right now that the team playing the best is obviously the Los Angeles Chargers. But the whole West is, well, okay, I shouldn't say anybody. Denver can't. But the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers are all 6-6. and it's going to come down to them playing each other in the last few weeks. I mean, you think about that, the Chiefs are in a free fall, really. I mean, have they won a game since October? So, I mean, they could wake up, and even Denver's only 3 games back. Cowboys, Raiders, that's my brother's 2 favorite teams right there, the Cowboys and Raiders. He's a Cowboy fan, there's number 1, but the Raiders are his AFC, kind of like I'm a Bills fan, but the Falcons. That Chiefs-Raiders game was crazy. In fact, that game when Marshawn Lynch got kicked out, actually, I got into a Facebook battle with a millennial over Marshawn Lynch's actions. Hurt his team. And there was a couple other guys my age group and older that thought he hurt his team too by his actions. And this young lady, who is a huge sports fan, she knows a lot about sports, but she's of the age and ilk where she thought that was good, as she said the word teamship. And I think she meant to say, you know, like, being a good team player. Oh, how did he drop that? But anyway, we spent almost 24 hours arguing back and forth on Facebook, myself and a couple other guys my age, with her, trying to convince her that what Marshawn Lynch did in that game was bad for his team and it was selfish. She just didn't want to hear it. She thought it was showing leadership. Well, we couldn't get her to understand that if you're not following the rules and getting yourself thrown out of a game for hitting a referee, that's not good leadership. But I digress. That Chiefs-Raiders game was an amazing game. I watched the whole thing, which is rare for a Thursday night. Usually those games bore me and I move on to a video game. But that one was definitely a hell of a game. Well, most people, especially of a certain age, do. If you've been in any kind of team atmosphere, whether it be in sports or work or a family situation working together, you know that you can't be in business. You can't go in, as they say in pro wrestling, you can't go in business for yourself. You know, you have to do what's best for the team, what's best for the unit. And evidently, some people don't feel that way. There have also been games like that Ravens-Dolphins game. You know, this Falcons-Saints game, I didn't get to see it because I was working late that night, and I was not near a TV set, but I did listen to the final 5 minutes in the car on my way home. Looked like it was an interesting game. I mean, it's halftime. It's a fast-moving game. I wish I was paying a little bit more attention to the timing. Oh well. Since these comments don't stay with the video, I can answer that as a yes. We try not to get into what we do for a living on these videos, so unless somebody is watching it with the live chat on, it's okay. I need to get an interception. That was a good hit. You know, an interesting set of games tomorrow. Bills play the Dolphins. I'll be watching that game. I don't know if I'll get to any other games, but bowl games coming up. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. They're in the playoff this year. They got a tough one though against Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield just won the Heisman Trophy tonight. In case everybody missed it, let me be the next to report that your 2017 Heisman Trophy winner is Baker Mayfield. At times, a little bit of a irresponsible, immature player, but a hell of an athlete. And I think the responsibility and the maturity will come, especially when he hits the NFL. Yes, he did. He won the Heisman. It wasn't much of competition going in. Saquon Barkley wasn't even invited to the event. He had slipped off so much toward the end. It was pretty much Mayfield's Heisman to lose his last couple of weeks, and he definitely held on. Give the kid a lot of credit. I've heard some chatter in the Bills Facebook or social media groups that they want the Bills to look at him. I'm still of the opinion I think we're going to draft too low to get a quarterback. I'm more of the opinion that we might want to look, because I don't think Tyrod's coming back after the whole Peterman scenario. I'm more of the opinion maybe we find a veteran to fill in and, I don't know, continue to work on Peterman. That one game he played in was such a bad start, though. I mean, it's going to take a real responsible kid to overcome a first start like that. Maybe we could get Denver to give us the rights to Chad Kelly. You know, I wouldn't doubt that he is. I mean, a couple of those early interceptions, especially that first one, it was a high pass, but it was in the receivers. He had it, he tipped it. So at the beginning, it wasn't necessarily, I mean, again, it was a high pass, but it wasn't really all his fault. Chad Kelly is Jim Kelly's nephew, and he's on the practice squad in Denver. He was Mr. Irrelevant last year, the last player selected. A bit of an immature streak, especially he's bounced around from a couple colleges. He ended up at Ole Miss, I believe, after playing a year at a junior college. The Broncos, John Elway had a conversation with Jim Kelly leading up to the draft, and Kelly convinced him to take a chance and draft him. And Denver's got their own quarterback issues, so I don't know if they'd be willing to give up anybody, but the thought process was get Chad in Denver, away from home, have him under the watchful eye of a legend like Jim Kelly, and maybe get his act together. I personally thought that he should go home, go back to Buffalo, where his uncle's there, and I thought that would help him, but I'm not a talent scout or anything, so it wasn't my decision, obviously. I'd like to see the kid do well. I'm always a softie, though, for second-generation talent, whether they be the sons or nephews of a legend before them. I always want to root for them. I wanted to root for Jarrett Payton when he came into the league. I want to root for the Mannings, even though they both went to teams that I don't root for. I want to root for Chad Kelly. John Elway's kid, Jack, was playing in Arizona. Well, actually, I've got games of his on VHS when he was at Cherry Creek in Colorado, high school. And then he went to Arizona State, and I wanted to root for him. He just didn't stick with the team. He quit after a year. Who else has got offspring out there? But the offspring don't always... Brett Favre's nephew. He's currently in... it doesn't even necessarily have to be a football player. Look at David Robinson's son is in Notre Dame. Isaac Robinson, I believe is his name. He's a wide receiver. And there's another guy at Notre Dame who, too, son of a baseball player, I believe. Well, yeah, Clay Matthews. His brother, Garrett? No. He was in Philadelphia. I don't know if he still is. Colby Matthews? I don't know. He played at Oregon. But Clay is definitely the exception to the rule, where he's not only as good as his dad or uncle, but maybe even better when all is said and done. But I love those stories where they look back at like a Hasselbeck and show how his father played in the Super Bowl with the Patriots in '85, or and then Matt plays in the Super Bowl with Seattle, and Matt's teammate at the time in that Super Bowl 40, Mosi Tatupu, no, Lofa Tatupu, his father Mosi played with the Patriots. You know, so there was two connections there. Seahawks, whose fathers had played for the Patriots. Don Hasselbeck. Don Hasselbeck played for, actually I think he played for the Raiders too in Super Bowl 18. I'd have to look that up. Nice catch by Andre Reed going up to get the ball. Yeah, Emery Moorhead, isn't he the son of Ironhead Craig Hayward? Or, no, I'm thinking Hayward. Moorhead. Who's he the son of? Deion Sanders has got a kid who was playing at SMU a couple years ago. I don't think he made it in the league, though. Georgia Bulldogs. Evander Holyfield, the boxer. His kid is a running back at Georgia. And now there's some great running backs ahead of him, and Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, and but there's a Holyfield, and I think he's either a freshman or a sophomore. We're going to be hearing him, if you follow SEC football, because I think Georgia's going to be good for a while. For a couple of years. I do the same with pro wrestling. I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and I'm a fan of the art, of the storytelling, and it's not always good, especially in WWE. But I hear a kid coming in the league. Use an example: Natalia, Natty Neidhart. Her dad was Jim the Anvil Neidhart in the '80s. I always loved him and that triangular red beard of his and that laugh. Tight end with the Colts and Manning. You know, speaking of that, the Bills have a receiver named Zay Jones. His dad, Robert Jones, played for the Cowboys. Robert Jones, I believe, played for the Cowboys in those Super Bowls where they beat up on the Bills. So it's kind of ironic that the son would go to and play for Buffalo. Oh, right in the middle and batted down. I was looking for the tight end. So a tight end with Peyton Manning already has a kid coming in the league? I'm getting old. Scott Norwood. So I've got a couple projects going on, if you've seen this. The Vinny Vincent career stuff using the PlayStation 1. The Cardinals team history where I went and I recreated the 1920 Cardinals roster. No, Emery Moorhead. Oh, okay. I got you now. I do seem to remember that name now that you say that, yeah. Because they had made the connection on how his father was a Bear. I remember a story in the Super Bowl pregame show. His father had played for the Bears, but now he was playing for the Colts, and they were playing against the Bears. Yeah. Now I remember that. What I think is going to be interesting is when you get some of these guys who you saw as little kids when their dads won the Super Bowls, whatever, and they're holding them up, like say Drew Brees, when he held his oldest at the time was his only kid, Balin, up. You know, was holding him and was celebrating with the confetti falling all around, and the kid had those thick ear muffs on because he was so little. I mean, he's my kid's age, so '09 he was just a couple months old at the time. And then in another 10, 12 years, we might hear him as this kid coming up playing maybe Rocket Arm. Or what about the Mannings? They must, between the two of them, they must have some kids that are coming into football age. Anthony Dorsett, yes, he played with the Raiders, didn't he? Titans. I remember that. Yeah, he was in the league for quite a while too. It was one of the rare exceptions where the father was a legend, and he made it to the NFL, but and was a decent player. He wasn't a pro, like a Hall of Famer in his own right, but he stuck around, played quite a few years, I do believe. I rooted for Montana's kids, both Nick and Nate. Neither one of them made it to the league. Jerry Rice Jr. as well. He got a tryout with the 49ers, I believe, but didn't make it. I just think it would be cool if somebody like a Jerry Rice Jr. had made it and was just as good, if not better, than his dad, especially in today's modern rules for receivers. How cool it would have been. Oh, to see him go after and possibly break his kid's year, or his father's records and whatnot. Like maybe someday Tom Brady's kid makes it in, and I'm offsides. And now I'm stuck in that view. I gotta pay attention better. I'm gonna lose this game. No, you're absolutely right. And a lot of times they get handed things that their dads might not have had. Better chance at education. You look at the Elway kid, John never would have quit. I mean, he went to Stanford, obviously, but it just wasn't in him to quit. And who knows why his kid quit at Arizona State. It was disappointing, but play the ball. Is that Martin Bayless? Hard fought first down. So anyway, back to what I was saying, I have these other projects going, and instead of jumping from project to project every night and getting you a different taste, I'm going to let you binge on a season. So I'm going to do a full season, try to do as much as I can, one night or one game a night. Obviously can't do every night. Like last night I had a Christmas party I had to go to and I got home exhausted. Some days I work doubles. Can't do anything then. But the goal is to do one game a night. These are just the ones by myself. Now, not the connected franchise playoff things that we're doing through the Facebook group. And I'm trying to get more guys to do Facebook videos. You saw Snook Ahead had the video up at his first broadcast. We got B Blitz and U44 at his first broadcast. And I'm teaching these guys how to do it, and they were enjoying it too. So, anything to get more exposure to what we do. Whew. Look how that hit on Craig James. That would make Craig James sign up and go do college football commentary somewhere. Well, I am more than happy to help and answer questions for anybody. Grabbed him by the face mask. Okay. Oh, of course you get me when I don't have my phone available to me. You know, listening to his speech patterns, he doesn't sound like a Southerner, like a Bruce Smith or Cornelius Bennett, where he sounds more like he could have been from out west. I don't know. That's a good one. Daryl Talley. He did go to Atlanta, though, to end his career. I'm going to say I don't know that one. Like, some guys, like I know Bennett went to Alabama. Bruce Smith went to Virginia Tech. Jim Kelly went to Miami. Born in Cleveland. And went to West Virginia. Jeff Hostetler's college. They were probably teammates. About the same era. Well, it's all tied up. 2.5 to go. Tony Franklin on the kick. Marv Levy, use some of your X-Men powers here. I really dislike what they give us for create a coach. Oh yeah, barefoot kickers. I wish we could go for like some of the mods they do on that Madden 08 on the PC, where they've modified uniforms, or you can put teams in uniforms from the pre-face mask era. But yeah, the customized coach thing is just lame. Madden 16, at least they let you put in a suit. So if you created a Vince Lombardi or a Tom Landry, you could have him in a suit. With some of the problems I ran into with the alternate Super Bowls on Madden 17 and 18, you can't do. Excuse me. Nope, not yet. Haven't had to kick anybody out. Nobody quit from the league. Nobody quit in the middle of a game because they were getting beat. Of course, we've had some good games too, so that helps. Been a bit rough scheduling some of the games to get them played. This Rams-Giants NFC title game is hopefully going to come off. Oh, let's roll. Man. Hopefully going to happen on Monday or Tuesday. And then they'll meet Chuck Diesel in the Super Bowl. Every game he's played so far has gone into overtime. And he's He lost the one in the test round against more BJ, 85. Than you and Snook ahead. You got tremendous field position. Let's see, they're in 2 tight ends. Need a turnover. Tony Easton is 13 of 19. I wonder if I can turn up the PA announcer so we can hear him say the names. See if he says the names. The announcers themselves won't say the create custom names, so I turn them off because it's not fun playing a game with Jim Kelly and they're just calling him Nathan Peterman. Irving Fryer. I need to get some pressure on Easton, force him into a bad pass. Well, the Patriots in '86 were the division champs. Get back. Oh. Keep that camera angle. I had no idea what was happening. I wonder if there's a way I can turn that off. That offsides might have just cost me the game. Well, now they're going to call timeout, so that'll help a little. It's only one loss. It's a long season. I'll get the Patriots again down in Foxborough later in the season. It's a 2015 schedule, so. We'll go ahead and we'll finalize the week and check those standings out. Week 2 standings. And I'll show you who the Bills play in week 3. And that'll be it for the broadcast. So, like I said, they were division champs in '86. They played the Broncos tough in the playoffs. I had them in yardage. I'm only doing one season, so I'm not real concerned about upgrading players or whatnot. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to play the Dolphins next week. Let's go look at the standings in the AFC. Currently in the AFC, the New England Patriots are in first place. Let's go. And the rest of the league is 1-1. If the playoffs began after 2 weeks, New England would have a first-round bye. New England would have home field advantage. Cleveland would have a first-round bye. The Raiders would be your 3 seed and would host a playoff. And what's the South? Jeez, the Titans would be the other division champion to host a playoff. The Raiders would host the Chiefs, and the Titans would host the Broncos. Okay, NFC. Rams have home field advantage. Bears get a first-round bye. Saints and Giants are your other division champs. Saints would host the Panthers, and Giants the Lions. The Panthers 2-0 with nobody on the roster. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll get ready for the Bills game. Just a brief look ahead at the schedule. The next 4 games are at Miami, New York, at Tennessee, and Cincinnati. We'll see you next time. Hopefully tomorrow, as we'll travel to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. That's been Vinny's Take. Vinny's Play. Vinny's Game.